Today's Small Business Saturday radio podcast is being brought to you by Noretta Family Medicine, cutting through the red tape of healthcare.
Good morning, Columbia, South Carolina, and welcome to Small Business Saturday Radio, where we celebrate local entrepreneurs and small business owners who are building our communities and making a positive impact on our economy. I am Tazima, the owner of Sunrise Artists in Bath and Body, located right here in 5 Points. My mysterious co-host Steve is not in the studio with us this Saturday or next Saturday, but he'll be back soon, so it'll be good to have him in the studio. But we have, I think I'm making Dr. Melissa Boylan, and she doesn't know I'm going to say this. I think I'm making her the official co-host. The official sit-in co-host, Dr. Melissa Boylan, who is the creator of Noretta Family Medicine. And as always, when we have Dr. Boylan on the show, we always learn something, some tips on how we can take care of ourselves, which is great, right? Because we've got Thanksgiving coming up, we've got Black Friday, Small Business Saturday, Cyber Monday. So there's a lot of stress, spending, and overeating. So what a wonderful time to have Dr. Boylan come in and give us some tips. But I have to say this in the beginning of the show, and I'll probably repeat it again during the show. A couple of things I want to let you guys know. Next Saturday, we won't be live on the air. Which is interesting because I just realized next Saturday is literally Small Business Saturday. Okay, so we won't be on the air, but I do encourage you guys for Small Business Saturday to please make sure that you go out and support local small businesses. It means the world to us. And like I've said before, your small businesses, your local businesses, that is the backbone of your community, economic-wise. So we want to keep those businesses thriving and vibrant and all those good things. So I encourage you all this Saturday coming up, please make sure that you check out a small business and show your support for that. The other thing I want to clear up, so two things real quick, back to back. We are literally about to launch the podcast. I know we've said this for 1,000 years, but it is really, really happening. And so now that I'm having to edit our shows, I realized last Saturday when Steve and I was in for the segment of Owners and Opinions, I kept saying that Steve was livid about the election, and I was stunned. I said that twice. Steve was not livid. I was. Steve was the one that was stunned. I think a lot of people were stunned or livid by this election. But I just wanted to let you guys know, yes, I know the difference between livid and stunned, but my mind got caught up in the loop. And what I meant to say about myself, I was literally saying about him, but that's kind of funny. So I just wanted to let you guys know I did make a mistake. Of course, he wasn't livid, but I'm quite sure he was stunned. I think he admitted that. But it is what it is, and we need to take each day at a time, move forward, and do the best that you can do. That's all anybody can ask. And like I mentioned briefly, we will be launching the podcast because there are many of you who said that you're doing different things at 11 o'clock in the morning and you hate that you missed the show. Well, now you can't use that as an excuse anymore, okay? Because you'll be able to listen to the show anytime you want to. So be on the lookout for that. I'll share more information on how you can actually hear that podcast. But I'm very happy about it. So now to the fabulous Dr. Melissa Boylan.
Wow.
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm kind of excited about Thanksgiving, even though I don't cook. I do not cook. So I'm excited about eating other people's food.
There you go.
I'm also excited about being off for a day.
Right.
So I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, it forces people to take care of themselves for a day.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff going on. But this is the beginning of... Well, I think people are just generally more stressed out, period. But it's always like a double dose of it when the holidays start.
Absolutely.
So you're here to give us tips on how to maneuver through this holiday season. And the first thing I want to touch basis with you on is the obvious, food safety. Because what people remember when I thought I had food poisoning? I think I have everything. It's like, I'll call Dr. Boylan, and this is why she's so good. I'll call Dr. Boylan freaking out. Oh my God, I think I'm dying. I ate tomatoes out of a can. But anyway, but food safety is important because people don't understand, like, you want to make sure that you clean the food properly. This is why I won't eat with everybody.
Well, maybe this will help.
Yeah. So give us some tips on food safety, what we should and shouldn't do.
So I think the first one is about the 5-second rule. So what do you think about the 5-second rule? Do you think it applies or do you think it doesn't?
Well, what's the 5-second rule
so
in
if
this
something
case?
drops on the floor.
Oh, no. Come on now, you know
I
me.
know.
I don't care if it's I'm not eating nothing off the floor.
Yes.
That's for my dog.
That is the right answer. So the 5-second rule really doesn't apply. I mean, it's not like the bacteria is going to wait 5 seconds to jump on your food.
And I'm just saying, people walk on the floor. See, this is where my visuals. People walk on the floor, and you don't know what they've walked across before they even got into your house.
Yeah.
Even you.
Right. Exactly.
Just walking up my driveway. I don't know what's on the ground.
Exactly.
I don't know if somebody came through there or the mailman.
Yep.
Might have sneezed right before. No.
Yes. So 5-second rule does not apply. Just throw it out.
Yes.
So another one is a question about should you wash your meat before you eat it or before you cook it? What do you think about that?
Okay, now, in full disclosure, I don't cook. However, I'm not eating nothing that's not washed.
Okay.
I won't eat vegetables that's not washed.
So that's interesting. So actually, the safest thing to do is actually not to wash your meat before you cook it.
Really?
Yeah. And the reason is, I mean, it's a couple of reasons, but number one is that when you wash things, you know how stuff splashes, the water will splash everywhere.
Yeah.
And so any bacteria that's around, on your meat, is going to get splashed maybe onto your other food that you're eating. So you actually don't want to wash your meat for that reason. But then let me clarify.
Okay.
But then when you cook it, any bacteria that's on that meat's going to die.
Well, okay. So going back to the washing it and splashing on other food, why would you have other food around it?
Well, I mean, a lot of people do. You're making your salad and you've got your salad bowl next to the sink, and then you got your pieces of chicken and you're washing it right there. So
you know what? We got to go in the break. This is getting interesting already. I just looked up at the clock. It's like we got 5 seconds. Okay, when we come back, I want to find out who's making salads next to the raw turkey. Because I won't be coming to your house for Thanksgiving. You're listening to Small Business Saturday Radio. We'll be right back.
The City of Columbia's Office of Business Opportunities supports small business owners. We help minority, women, and veteran-owned businesses with loans, technical assistance, education, and advocacy. We're here to help business owners avoid mistakes. Contact us with questions and let us help. For more information, call 803-545-3950 or visit obo.columbiasc.gov. Together, we are Columbia.
Are you looking for a luxurious way to pamper yourself? Look no further than Sunrise Artisan Bath & Body. Our plant-based bath bombs, soaps, and lotions are designed to provide you with the ultimate experience. Our products are natural and nourishing, leaving you feeling refreshed and rejuvenated. So go ahead, treat yourself with Sunrise Artisan, which is more than a bath, it's an experience. Sunrise Artisan, located at 710 Saluda Avenue in 5 Point.
Are you frustrated with the healthcare system and looking for a change? Then look no further. I'm Dr. Melissa Boylan with Noretta Family Medicine. We are a direct primary care office where we take the time to get to know you. For a reasonable monthly fee, we offer transparent billing and easy-to-access primary care for all ages. Noretta Family Medicine, cutting through the red tape of healthcare. Find out more by visiting NorettaFamilyMed.com. That's NORETA FamilyMed.com.
This segment of Small Business Saturday Radio is brought to you proudly by A Little Happy in 5 Points.
All right, welcome back, everybody. You're listening to Small Business Saturday Radio. I am Tazima, your host, in the studio today with Dr. Melissa Boylan. We're already having a blast, okay? I'm just sitting up here as visual as I am, just thinking about how gross stuff is.
Well, it sounds like you're learning some things already, so this is good.
I am, because I was always the person that thought before you eat anything, you have to wash it. And
fruits and vegetables, that's true, for
sure.
Fruit,
and even with that, I want to ask you about fruits and vegetables. But for those of you who are just tuning in, Dr. Melissa Boylan, of course, she is the creator, founder of Noretta Family Medicine, and we'll even talk about the services she provides before we end the show today. But we're giving you tips on what to do for the holidays, you know, because they're coming at us really quick, and we want to make sure that everybody is safe, healthy, and you get to live another year. Okay, so before we went into commercial break, one of the things that Dr. Boylan said was that you really don't want to wash your raw meat before cooking it. And for me, I was like, ew. Ew. I mean, really, you know what? I know what it is, Dr. Boylan, because I have always had this idea. What if so you got this big chicken plant, right? And somebody out of 1,000 chickens drops one on the floor. I've already told you I'm not down with the 5-second rule.
Right.
If it hit the floor, I don't want it. And they just stick it back up on the conveyor belt. I would end up being the one person that got that chicken. So I'm very, very paranoid about not washing.
FDA regulations.
Well, humans are still going to be humans. So don't wash. So repeat again why you say you shouldn't wash raw meat.
Because you don't want to contaminate everything else that's around your sink. And the bacteria that's on your meat will die whenever you cook it. So.
And that's interesting, too, because you should be washing your sink out.
True. But but if you think about it too, if you let's say you wash your turkey off before you put it in the oven, and then you wash your vegetables in that same sink,
Yeah.
So that's another reason.
That's gross. Okay, at least wash your sink in between.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you're like me and you just have to wash the meat, just make sure you really, really clean the sink if you're going to use it to rinse off vegetables and stuff. And then I guess the other tip is not to have your meat so close to the next part of the meal that you're preparing that literally that water can splash on the potato salad you just made.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So we're trying to prevent, stomach-borne illnesses, but there are other illnesses too that we can prevent, that you can help prevent, over the holidays too. So, just a reminder for everybody to get their flu shots and their COVID shots. Those are recommended once a year. There's RSV vaccines that are now recommended for people 75 and up. People 60 and over can talk with their doctor if it's appropriate appropriate between 60 and 75.
What is that? Respiratory?
Yeah, it's respiratory syncytial virus. And it is something that we used to think, it's a respiratory illness that we used to think just affected babies. But now it's being found in, I think I saw something recently where up to 1 in 20 adults that are hospitalized for a respiratory infection has RSV now. So
you know what? I wonder what the world is going to look like if we get to this place where we become so paranoid about vaccines and nobody gets vaccinated.
Well, hopefully that's not hopefully that doesn't happen.
We keep the good information out there.
Yes, it's very
because
important.
everything that was resolved was through this is what I understand.
Right.
Measles was contained because of a vaccine.
Polio
was, basically destroyed and unheard of. And we know that there were times when, I don't know what the odds were, but the odds were pretty high that you could be born or get polio, right, as a child.
Yeah.
And so we pretty much wiped that out.
Yeah,
so I just don't understand why people... Anyway.
Yeah, well.
Okay.
Lots
all
of
right.
misinformation.
So I did want to touch on... I want to go back to the food safety thing.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, this is good. So I want to touch on vegetables and fruits. So you know how they spray them and they got all that stuff on it? So it's like you got two choices. If you get fresh fruit that hasn't been sprayed or vegetables, they don't last as long. And then when you get the other stuff from like the regular market, they're really shiny and waxy. So what's the best way to clean your vegetables?
So if you, I from what I know, and I'll just say that I'm not an expert in this area, but if you buy fresh, that's great because you're supporting a local farmer. But you don't want to wash what you're going to eat until you're about to eat it. So I think it helps it stay fresher longer.
Okay.
And then there are sprays that you can buy. You can even use like a vinegar spray.
I was getting ready to say, a lot of my friends that are vegan would tell me that they spray vinegar, like white vinegar, and that helps to clean off the vegetables.
Right, exactly.
Okay, so now the other thing that I want to you have on here, leftover loophole.
Yes, the leftover loophole.
Okay, so tell us what that is.
So I found this really interesting. I actually found this on a NPR, and I thought it was really something that I didn't even know. But so typically it's recommended that you throw out your leftovers after 3 to 4 days. So, the green bean casserole, stays in the fridge. You want to eat it or freeze it, I guess, after that time. But if you reheat it, to a temperature of 165 degrees, then you can restart that 3 to 4 day clock.
Oh, so just make sure you reheat it.
Isn't that interesting?
So all those people that are eating cold turkey sandwiches have 3 days.
That's right.
It's like after that, throw it out.
Right.
So, or heat it up.
Right, or heat it up.
At a minimum of 65 degrees. That is interesting. Yeah. So that way you can keep it going.
Right, exactly. Okay. If you don't get sick of it by then. But
yeah. Oh, gosh. And you know what? I'm a person that I really like leftovers because all of the seasoning and stuff is finally settled in.
I agree with you.
So good.
I totally do.
So we were talking about food, and then we touched on vaccines. Well, some of the other things that you were talking about preventing the spread of illness, share that with the audience.
Yeah. So, there's just some really basic things, and I know that you hear this a lot, but just to think about it in practice is important. So wash your hands. Okay. So everybody knows they need to wash their hands, but what does that really mean? So, obviously after you go to the bathroom, everybody knows that. But what about before you eat? You don't always think about doing that, especially if you're in your own house. You don't always think about washing your hands, but especially if there's a lot of people around, it's important to wash your hands, get rid of whatever's on them, and it can decrease your chances of getting sick from other people.
And you know what's interesting about that, and I'm glad you mentioned washing your hands before you eat, because when we grew up, that was the thing. It was like before you come to the table, it's like go wash your hands, right? That was the thing. But then what I realized is that because I'm always I'm way better now, but I'm always in this rush mode, right?
Exactly.
So I would go get something to eat, grab it, start eating it, until one day I realized that I had a bunch of baking soda on my hands for making bath bombs. And then it dawned on me, why are you not washing your hands before you eat?
Exactly. A lot of people, right, if you're in a rush and you go through a drive-through and you just grab your whatever you grab and start eating it, a lot of times you don't think about, washing your hands, sanitizing your hands at least.
And we do know that was one of the ways that COVID was spread, because people didn't really. They weren't washing and they remember those.
It was, I'm not sure. It's a spread via respiratory droplets. So I'm not sure that there was a specific association between
Let me ask you this: what happens like when you go to a public bathroom?
Mm-hmm.
Are you supposed to And when you're opening up doors and stuff, what's the proper way to do that? Because I don't want to wear gloves everywhere.
Right, and you don't have to. So okay. So let's talk about this. So obviously, you're going to wash your hands after you use the restroom, but you don't have to use a paper towel to turn off the water faucet handle. So that was kind of something interesting that I read recently, relatively recently. So you can just turn it off, and then hopefully everybody else wash their hands so that when you touch that knob on the doorknob to open the door, it won't be as dirty. But
I can see it's already renting space in my head now. It's like, and then finally you say stay home if sick, which is you would think is obvious, I would also say, if your children are sick, you want to keep them home.
Absolutely.
A lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are just say, oh, it's just a cold. I'm just gonna, we're just gonna come over. But the reality is, if your 5-year-old's sick and you go over to see grandma on Thanksgiving, it's possible that grandma could get much sicker with that illness.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. Well, that's why we have Zoom.
I was just gonna say exactly. That's what it's for.
Can still wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving and be safe.
Yes.
Okay, so we've got about a minute before we have to hit bottom of the hour news. But before I get into the burn section, because I think this is really interesting, you have travel tips as well. We already know that part of that is washing the hands, but real quick, what else? What other travel tips do you have?
Yeah, so this is just kind of a basic tip for everybody. When you're in the car, when you're traveling, just make sure you put that seatbelt on. That's the number one thing that you can do to protect yourself when you're traveling over the holidays.
Absolutely, because and it's so sad, particularly when you see young people, that were in these fatal car crashes and thrown from the car because they just didn't have on the seatbelt.
And I tell everybody, it's not necessarily your driving skills. You could be the best, but it's somebody else. You never know.
Somebody else. Okay. All right. We have to do bottom of the hour news. When we get back, we have more tips for you for this Thanksgiving. You can even use them over the Christmas holidays. We'll be right back.
Welcome to Saluda's, located in the heart of Five Points since 1996 and specializing in fine dining Southern cuisine with a continental flair. Come enjoy your next dinner in our beautiful white tablecloth dining room overlooking Five Points. You'll experience great ambiance, fantastic food, and exceptional service. Need space for your next dinner meeting or special occasion? Reserve one of our 2 private dining rooms for larger groups of up to 50. Saluda's outdoor seating is the best in Columbia, overlooking the iconic Five Points fountain. A few of our signature dishes include our shrimp and grits, seared scallops, and one of the best filet mignons you have ever tasted. The bar is stocked with craft beers and signature cocktails, and our wine list was just awarded the Wine Spectator Award of Excellence. Join us for dinner 7 nights a week starting at 5 p.m. and experience Southern hospitality and cuisine with a modern spin. Saluda's at 751 Saluda Avenue. Make reservations at saludas.com or call 799-9500. That's 799-9500.
This is the Business Tip of the Week, brought to you by The Hideout, located at 118 State Street in West Columbia.
All right, everybody, welcome back. And yes, the business tip of the week that I never do. I came up with the idea and I don't do it. I usually toss it to Steve or whatever guest is in the studio at the last minute, and I put him on the spot. So, Dr. Boylan, what is your tip of the week?
I anticipated it.
Yeah, because she was like, do you have something for business tip of the week? And I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot. So what's your business tip?
Yeah, my tip is, a lot of employers will provide a Thanksgiving meal for their employees to thank them for, for all the hard work that they do. And so my recommendation this year is to think about how you can do that in a healthier way for your employees. So maybe substituting in some healthier side dishes is turkey's actually it's a lean protein. It's pretty healthy. But maybe there's some healthier things that you can do, or you can do choose a healthier restaurant to get your meal from. So,
what do you think? Just generally about buffets. Do you think buffets are like? What is the safest way? Maybe that's the question. What is the safest way to eat at a buffet, or is it safe because those things are always hot? But you got all kind of people that are getting food and
right. So from a safety perspective, I mean, I think that's maybe a little bit of a different concern. I mean, what I thought of whenever you asked me that was about how much you can eat at a buffet.
Well, that too.
How dangerous it can be.
That is, I ate so much. There's a buffet here that is so good. I don't normally like to do buffets, but this one is exceptional. And I had to stop going because when I
right, sometimes it's tempting, right? So
I was like, the food is so good and it's a lot of it. And then before you know it, it's like you actually get to this point where the body is like, no, Tazima, you can't even taste it anymore. You're just shoving stuff in your face because it's there.
So this brings up a tip for the holidays. A lot of times at Thanksgiving, you're also, given a large selection of food to eat from. So maybe just take a small portion so that you can taste, and see what you like. And then whenever you go back for seconds, if you do, you can just choose that
because
one.
It is interesting. And I don't know if it's just me mentally thinking of this, but it does seem that the body is trying to know you've either reached your limit or you're overdoing it because you can't really even taste the food anymore.
Yeah, our bodies give us cues all the time and we ignore them. What we really should be doing is when we eat a meal, we should only be eating until we feel like we're not hungry anymore. But a lot of us keep eating until we feel like we're full or super full, or we start to feel sick, and that's actually not the healthiest.
And I wonder too, and maybe you can answer this. So when we talk about food addictions, that's real. But what keeps us, are we just programmed that way because I am so disconnected from the idea of eating until you don't feel hungry anymore. I don't even know what that's like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What does that feel like? Like I know I'm no longer hungry. Right. Because technically that is my weakness. I cannot stand what it feels like to be hungry. I'm one of those people.
Yeah,
like I get
sure.
hungry. And at that point, I'll eat anything. I don't care. And
well, and that brings up another very interesting point is that just this week I've heard of 2 patients. I talked to them, and that was what they were doing. They were not eating during the day, and then they were getting ravenous at night and just eating whatever came their way. And so it is important, if you do get hungry during the day, to go ahead and eat something. So that you don't end up with these cravings for sugar. I mean, you can eat some starches during the day and kind of help keep yourself feeling full, so that you don't crave and just overeat at night.
Well, I think you said I do what's called grazing. I just eat throughout the day.
Yeah.
And that way I'm never ever really hungry. But I do know about me, if I don't eat and I start getting those pains, I don't care what it is.
Right, exactly. And that's the problem.
I don't even like pork, and I'll eat a ham sandwich. It's like,
so that's good. You know your body. You know what your body does. And that's exactly, what we all don't do enough of is pay attention to our own cues.
Is
know
grazing
ourselves.
normal, though, or is that something that we started doing? Because back in the day, people basically had 3 meals, and that was, right? Breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
So, I mean, that's kind of been what we've done for a long time, but I don't know that that's necessarily what our ancestors like way back in the day did. And, our bodies don't evolve very quickly. We all think that we've evolved to be able to, deal with electronics and all of that kind of stuff, but evolution takes a long time.
Right.
So, what I would recommend is thinking about what our ancestors way back in the day did. And that was, probably eat when they were hungry, because they, didn't necessarily.
I mean, it wasn't like they were sitting down at a table.
Exactly.
Let me put this club over here. Come on, family. Put the clubs down. It's dinner time. Okay. All right. So, you have on here burns. So talk to us about burns.
Yeah, so I thought it would be an interesting topic because, everybody's using their ovens over the holidays. People could be...
Not me. But my oven is just a storage place for pizza boxes. So it's like, go on.
But whoever's house you go to,
this is true. Okay.
People are deep frying turkeys, lots of different things going on. So that the chances for burns go up. So I just wanted to give a few first aid tips. So the first thing I want to say is that if a burn happens and it looks like it's really bad, then just go to the emergency room. That's important because burns are kind of unique injuries in that they can evolve over time. So you receive the burn. Let's say you touch a hot oven rack or something, and the skin's not broken, but it's a little red. The first thing to do is to put your hand under cool, not cold water. You don't want to get an ice cube out and put it on there. You just want to use cool water and run it for 10-15 minutes until the pain starts to go down. And so that's the first thing to do. And that would be a minor burn. That would be considered like a first degree burn.
Where nothing's broke, you just can
exactly.
see.
You can see a little redness, but it can spread over time. So that's the unique thing about burns is that the area that is burned can get bigger if you don't pay attention to it right when it happens. So if you don't put your hand under that water, the area that's injured can start to spread out a little bit. So
like with burns like that, do you recommend? How they have the antibacterial creams or something
so,
I can't remember.
So I don't recommend that for just a minor burn.
Okay.
Antibacterial creams are everybody likes to use them, but they don't necessarily speed healing.
Okay.
Sometimes you just want to keep the wound clean and moisturized if it's dry.
Is that why they would put butter on? Like my grandmother would put butter on it. Like if you burnt your fingers, she'd have a stick of butter.
I could see that's interesting. I've never heard of that before, but that's what Vaseline is for. They're both very high in fat or high in oils or however you want to put it, and that actually helps to keep things moisturized. So I wouldn't necessarily use butter these days.
Well, it's expensive now.
That's right. Oh my gosh, it is.
Back in the day, they were making it.
Yeah. That's true.
Okay.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
But that's interesting though. So, but if it's a severe burn, and that means I guess you can.
If the skin is broken, the layers of skin are gone. If you can see deeper structures, that's usually a sign that you need to go in because
the emergency
they
room.
Can become infected if they're not cleaned up and monitored properly.
Should you cover a burn?
Or
leave it out to dry?
That depends. I think that depends on whether your skin is broken or not. So let's say a burn happens through your clothes. So let's say grease flies up and gets through your clothes. You want to remove that clothing from your skin. You don't want to leave it there. But then once the wound is cleaned up and it's looking better, then you can put some Vaseline on it and cover it. But again, if it's broken the skin, you probably want to get it checked out first.
Yeah.
So.
Well, okay, please be safe, everybody. And please be mindful of small kids around these stoves and ovens. I have a story to share. This is why I don't do Thanksgiving. Why I don't cook. Now, this was a long time ago, and this is a true story. Me and my then husband, we were all stationed in Oklahoma, Fort Sill. So, me and my husband and two other military families, the women decided we were all going to get together and we were going to cook Thanksgiving dinner. Okay, so we get the turkey and everything, and they want to make biscuits from scratch. The first thing that I did, I was the one over the turkey, and I think this has mentally messed me up for a long time. First of all, I didn't know you could tie the little feet together. So I picture the legs just standing straight out.
Right.
Then I didn't know that inside the turkey was a bag.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Okay. I had no idea. So when we put it in, it's like, what is this smell? And so that was the first thing. And when we go to open the oven to figure out what is this smell, the turkey fell over in the oven, and then there's this fire. So we took the flour bag and we threw it in the oven to put the fire out. When we pulled that turkey out, it looked like something on Saturday Night Live. It had flour all over it. The legs were sticking straight out. And then we realized it had a bag. And the biscuits were like hockey pucks. So the only thing that tasted halfway decent was the canned greens. Okay. So it was, and the pumpkin pies that we bought already made. That was, it's just like, I don't want to do this anymore.
That is so
that's
funny. You got to get back on the horse.
So, but I'm saying all of that to say, please just be mindful, because I'll never forget that turkey falling over in the oven and that grease catching on the burners inside the oven. Right. And that can be dangerous. And don't let kids get close and they're excited about this, that, and the other, and the next thing you can turn around and bump into one. Yeah. So just be
about
careful
those oven
with the
fires.
kids.
I believe what's recommended is to shut the oven off, shut the oven door, and just let it go until it's done. I believe that's what's recommended.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Well, we threw flour in it. So, all right, everybody, we've got a couple of more tips when we come back after this, but and then we're going to talk about Dr. Boylan's practice, how it's growing and thriving, and how you can get in touch with her. So we'll be right back right after this. Again, you're listening to Small Business Saturday Radio. All right, everybody, welcome back. You're listening to Small Business Saturday Radio. We are in the final segment. Once again, this show just flew by. So before we go on, Dr. Boylan, thank you so much for being in the studio with us again.
Thanks for having me. I'm always happy to be here.
Well, it's always a blast to have you in here because we get to learn so much. And that's one of the things I love about the show that we do. Hopefully, we're helping people understand maybe just a little bit more or learn something that you hadn't considered or didn't know before. Mm-hmm. So it's just really good that the people that I surround myself with are just good folks and want to make sure that you're living the best life that you can live. So I thank you, Dr. Boylan, and that's why she's my doctor in full disclosure. Okay, she's just a wonderful, amazing person who takes healthcare serious. Believe me, if you become one of her patients, you will know you are seen. You're not just a number, your insurance number, or just a record, like what do you call it? The folder. You're not just that, or somebody's just looking at it and it's like, okay, here, take this. I mean, she is truly, and I've said this, and every time I tell you that, I know it makes you feel shy or whatever, but you remind me of the way that doctors used to be.
Oh, well, thanks. That's a huge compliment, actually.
I mean, really, like you knew they cared. And those doctors knew everybody in the family, from the children to the grandchildren to, I was the doctor of your great grandmother, and she wouldn't like you doing that. So I'm really happy to have you. So I want to touch on two quick things we have left, and I want you to tell people in the time we have left how they can reach out to you.
Sure.
You have down here mental health. So how does that, what is the tip for mental health?
Yeah. So I think a lot of people that struggle with mental health conditions those conditions can worsen over the holidays for various reasons. And so, it's just important to try and, if you know that happens to you, it's okay to acknowledge it. It's okay to think about it, because then you can prepare. You want to do things over the holidays like continue your usual routine. The holidays holidays come around the time right after the time change. And so it gets darker outside or, earlier. And then a lot of people that like to walk outside aren't walking outside. Well, my tip is just to try and figure out how to continue some physical activity despite the time change. So whether it is going to the gym, you don't have to go to the gym though. You can do a walking YouTube video, in your own house, in the safety of your own house. So just try and continue the physical activity because, exercise is medicine and it helps those endorphins. Exercising helps the endorphins, which will end up helping your mental health.
Unless you're one of those people who really are cool with being with yourself, there's a lot of people that don't have family or for whatever reason they find themselves alone during the holidays, right? And I always wonder, how are they able to move through that? Because people, it becomes so personal for them. Right. Like nobody. And I really do believe that when you stop having contact, unless it's something that you're really cool with, like you just like being by yourself. Sure. That we're designed to have social contact. And when you don't have that, I just think that speeds up, all kind of things.
Loneliness is certainly an epidemic these days. It's been recognized as that. So, for people that are by themselves, there are lots of holiday activities that are going on. So sometimes that will help to get out and be around other people. You go to, the Christmas lights at the Saluda Shoals Park or whatever it is. It's just nice to be around other people. And then something else you can do if you are by yourself is use your time to help somebody else. It doesn't need to be, you don't need to use money, but if you have a neighbor that also
sit
is
down
by
and have a
themselves,
hot chocolate together or something like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just have that develop that relationship and it's going to make both of you feel good. So that can help your mental health too.
All right, and then finally, dun dun dun, the tequila. No, I mean that. The alcohol intake. All right. Oh, you got the first word that popped out here is liver.
That's right.
Well, I'm already paranoid. It's like, not liver. Yeah. Okay, tell us about alcohol intake.
Right. So I think sometimes whenever we get around our family, sometimes that alcohol intake can go up. So I just want everybody to remember.
Especially this year. This season. Everybody might be hide the guns. Right. I mean, it's like,
right. There's going to be a lot to talk about at that table.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, it may be a safer space perhaps to drink your alcohol and enjoy yourself, but it's not necessarily healthier. Just because you're around your family doesn't mean that it's that you have liberty to to go crazy because your liver is still
passed out all over the turkey. Right. Okay. Uncle Joey, stop.
Right.
Don't give him anything else to drink. Okay, so be careful of how much you drink because, like you said, even if you're around your family, still physically for yourself.
Right, exactly.
It can cause other problems. Yeah. So, that's interesting, too, because... again, the holidays, people gathering, it's a celebration, but we still need to be conscious of what we're doing during these celebrations.
Absolutely,
right?
absolutely. And what I would say is if people tend to go overboard, why is that? Is that because you're not maybe taking care of yourself on the other days of the year and you feel like you have to splurge on those days? There are things you can do to try and recognize why that happens.
Yeah, and I think that's a really valid point. That, or at least I know that's how, like as soon as I would have a really good day, I'm going to celebrate. Yeah. And it's almost like, oh, yeah, because I deserved it. I worked for this. But now I even look at that differently. Like, okay, but what do you pay? What's the payoff?
Right. Exactly. Right? Exactly. Right. How is this? Yeah. How is this a true
serving
celebration?
me?
Yeah. Exactly.
So, okay, now tell us about the practice. And you got more and more clients coming to you now.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So, Noretta Family Medicine is direct primary care practice. So what that means means is that I charge patients a monthly subscription fee instead of filing with insurance. You can still have insurance, and about 80% of our patients still do have insurance, but they like the other benefits that I provide. So one of those benefits is that my visits are 60 minutes long. And from the time you walk in the door to the time you walk out, it'll be 60 minutes and really no more than that. So I charge patients for labs and meds. Those are extra fees, but they're very, very affordable.
They really are. They really are. I can vouch for that.
Yeah, and a lot of people, their mouths drop open whenever they hear how inexpensive my labs are specifically. So people with insurance, that's a lot of times where they save some money, is with the labs. And then folks can use insurance for anything that's done outside of the office, so referrals or imaging studies, that type of thing. But yeah, I don't file it in the office. And the reason that I started this practice was just to try and simplify primary care and start to give it a better reputation.
Yeah.
I just feel so bad because I know a lot of people don't go to primary care doctors because they can't get in. They're frustrated with not being able to contact their doctor, and I just hate to hear that because primary care is so important. I mean, it really should be the first line.
You would think, right? And you would think that we would, as a nation, be pushing that more.
Right.
But it's almost, I don't know, it's just so many strange things when it comes down to the health and wellness of people inside the country. It's like at some point you're going to have to take these matters in your own hands because the system is not.
So I think there are a
designed
couple
to guide
of things.
you through.
I mean, number one, we know that people with primary care doctors are healthier. We know that. So the research.
I know I'm healthier.
That's great. Yeah.
Remember, my blood pressure was like, what was it, 190 over 107? Dr. Boylan was like, I will put you on a drip if you don't start. So, yeah, I'm a lot healthier.
But a lot of people don't prioritize their own health. I think that's one of the problems.
True.
And that's one of the reasons I'm here is to remind people that, if you don't take care of your health, nobody else will.
That's right.
So there are some other reasons why primary care is doesn't have the best reputation. But hopefully I'm here to help to change that perception.
Well, I certainly think that you make a difference. And I think as we move forward into the new year, people are going to understand, hopefully, just how important it is self-care. And this is coming from someone who makes products for people to engage in self-care and wasn't really taking care of myself very much. But it can be a combination of things, too, because for me, it was also this it kind of comes down to self-worth, knowing what your value is. And I think a lot of women in particular are brought up that you always put yourself on the back burner, everybody else. Their value is what's important. So you got the kids, the spouse, the moms, the grandparents. You're taking care of everybody. The last person you think about is yourself.
Right.
And that makes absolutely no sense because you cannot pour from an empty cup.
Exactly. That's exactly right. Yes, it's important to.
So what's the number real quick if someone wants to call you?
So the phone number to the office is 803-667-4190.
Well, Dr. Boylan, once again, thank you. I'm making it official. You are going to be the official co-host.
Oh, wow.
When Steve is nowhere to be found.
Yay.
Well, thank you so much. It's been a great show. And for everybody out there, don't forget the podcast is coming soon. And have a great, great Thanksgiving.